Hey guys, it's Jalapeno here, and on today's project, we're going to be repairing this damage here on the ceiling in the bathroom. The homeowners had an issue on the roof. They already sent someone to fix the problem. They just asked me if I could repair this little damage here, and they also asked me if I could get in the attic just to check it out, and I said, yeah, no problem. Luckily, the attic access was super close, but before I get up there, I always like to plastic everything off, especially here in the closets. That way I don't get everything full of insulation. It doesn't really take me much to put up the plastic, and the homeowners really appreciate this. This also increases the likelihood of the homeowners calling me back for future home repairs. But anyways, now that I have access to the attic, I was going to turn on the light. Unfortunately, the light did not turn on. We checked the breakers, we changed the light bulb. It did not work, so he's going to have to call Mr. Sparky for that one. And so whenever you're up in the attic, just make sure you're walking on the trusses. Don't walk on the drywall, because then you're going to have to call me for a drywall repair. And as you can see, everything's pretty dry. We have had a lot of rain here in Colorado over the past couple days. So at least we know that the roofer did a pretty good job repairing the issue because there's no moisture up in the attic. Oh, and look, like I mentioned earlier, this is the main reason why I like to put down that plastic, because then all those little pieces of insulation are going to end up on the clothes. And then I just made sure I closed that attic access and then just completely wiped all the insulation out. Once I was clean, I took down the plastic. And there you go, look super clean. Now I'm just going to set some plastic where I'm going to be doing the drywall repair. But before that, I am going to be checking the moisture in the drywall with this moisture meter. As you can see, if I just put my finger on the pins, it does register some moisture on my fingertip. So all I have to do is just insert those pins into the drywall, and that's going to pick up if there's any moisture in there. Luckily, everything's pretty dry and the drywall's in pretty good shape. If the structural integrity of the drywall was compromised, then I would replace it. In this case, they caught the problem early, so it didn't cause a lot of damage. I do give the clients the option to replace the drywall if they want me to. It'll just be a little bit more pricier, but I told them, honestly, you don't really need to replace it in my opinion. So as you saw there, I just used my 6-inch drywall knife to scrape off the old paint. Then I just grabbed my stud finder to find the trusses there. That way I could put some screws and it's going to tighten up that drywall up against that truss. Just make sure you don't put the drywall screws in too deep. You just want a little dimple. You also don't want them to be sticking out, so just be cautious with that. And once you're done with that, you can start mixing this Easy Sand 5, or a lot of people call it hot mud. All you have to do is just add a little bit of water, mix it up. I like a sour cream consistency, if that makes any sense. Then I'm just going to use my 6-inch drywall knife to apply it over the damaged area here. The reason why I like to use this Easy Sand 5 or this hot mud is because you could apply multiple coats in a short amount of time. All you have to do is just wait about 10 minutes before you apply the second coat, compared to like joint compound where you have to wait hours. And once that second coat dries, go ahead and grab a wet rag and just wipe off the excess mud around the patch. And for the texture, I am going to be using this Homax texture pump I got on Amazon. I'm also going to be using these Easy Pro texture bags to fill up the texture pump. These come in super handy just because they're already pre-mixed, so I don't have to worry about mixing anything. Another option you could do without having to buy the pump is you could do the jalapeno flicker. It's not as consistent as the pump, but if you want to save a couple bucks, then go ahead and do the jalapeno flicker. If you do want the pump though, I'll have it in my Amazon storefront. It's a good way to help support the channel at no extra cost to you. And as you see here, once you shoot the texture, let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes before you knock it down. The pump also comes with this little knockdown tool, but like I said, wait about 10 to 15 minutes before you knock it down. That way you get those little nice plateaus there. Just make sure you don't put a lot of pressure when you're knocking it down. That way it doesn't become one big flat spot and you get these little nice texture spots as you see here. After all that, let it dry for a couple hours, and then once it's dry, grab a wet rag and wipe off the overspray around the patch. And after all that, now you could go ahead and paint it. Also, if you found any value in this video or you just enjoy this type of content, don't forget to follow and subscribe. It really does help out the channel, so I really appreciate it. But anyways, don't forget to feather out the paint a little bit. That way it blends in with the surrounding area. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Jalapeno Solutions. Boom!